regular season finale, rivalry game, CBS national TV, NCAA tournament bid still kind of floating around out there. This is pretty much about as good as it gets for you as a college basketball player. Can you kind of talk about what this all means on Saturday?
Obviously, you just kind of touched on a little bit of the severity of the game. It's gonna be a war without all that at stake. I mean, it's just a rivalry. Obviously, you know how we feel about each other, and it's a really important game for both groups. So I'm really excited. This is what you prepare for. This is what you play for. So I'm believing in my guys, and we're putting in the work. So I'm excited for the game.
What's the mood of the team? What's the mindset right now? Obviously, you guys know what's at stake. You don't need coach to tell you. You don't need the media to tell you. How would you kind of describe the focus of the squad?
I mean, we're really focused right now. We're really focused on just getting better, maximizing every day. Not really looking too far into the past and too far into the future either. So just staying focused, living in the moment, practicing hard every day, and putting in our extra work and just preparing for whatever's next.
You guys have won 3 of your last 4. Seem to be playing some pretty good basketball at a pretty important time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I mean, March is when you really want to start peaking. So we know that, we understand that, and that's pretty much the goal that we're trying to get to. We're not too much focused on everybody else. We're really focused on our locker room and trying to maximize each day.
How nice would it be to be able to say you swept these guys?
That would be really good. Obviously, I mean, I just really want to win every game I compete in, and I'm sure they have the same approach. But I mean, all I can control is what I can control, and put in the work and get ready for the game.
What's your philosophy in a hostile environment? Is it to try to ignore it and block it out, or is it to try to maybe enjoy it and almost revel in the experience of a crowd like that?
I mean, if you don't like playing in hostile, loud crowds, I mean, this really ain't the sport for you. But I really like it. I mean, I like when opposing teams are trash talking and their fans are into it, and the whole city and country is pretty much watching it. So, like I said, this is kind of what you prepare for, man. In the off season, some of the days you don't really feel like doing it, or you feel like taking a day off or something like that. I mean, this is your motivation, games like this. So, we've been preparing for this for a minute. So, I mean, I'm really excited, and I like our chances.
Having said that, how important is it to get off to a good start there, to not let that crowd get too excited?
I mean, if you've watched our games, you've known that's kind of been an Achilles heel for us in some games. We've come out with low energy, whether it's first or second half, and teams have pulled away on us. And sometimes we make the comeback, sometimes we haven't. So we got to do our best to just maximize each possession, take it one play at a time, defensively and offensively, and like I said, live in the moment, and I like our chances.
You guys are 8-1 after a loss. What does that say about your team?
I think that's a testament to our coaching, our resilience. That we got a group of winners. We got a group of guys that really despise losing, and when we lose, we know it's unacceptable, and we really want to bounce back. So we've done that at a high rate this year, but it's no more time for that. So we're really focused on every game.
Yeah, what's caused those kind of maddening clunkers? Because you guys are probably even better than your record shows. You bounce back, but you've had those games that you've had to bounce back from, and have you solved that now? Because you're getting into that no more room for error part of the season.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't necessarily say we've identified exactly what it is each game that we've lost, but I can say that in some of the games we've come out and we haven't executed well offensively. We didn't have the maximum amount of energy that's needed to compete at a high level. So those are some of the things that we can control: our attitude and our effort. And when we play hard and execute offensively and defensively, we're a really tough team to beat.
When you look back on it, do you feel like that was the case at Oregon, or just because they're obviously playing a lot better now too?
They won the game. They played really well. They hit shots. I mean, I'm not sure exactly our shooting percentage, but I know we probably missed like 18 to 23s or something in that game. So, I mean, shooting like that, you're not going to beat too many teams. But I wouldn't say that's the exact reason we lost. Like I said, compliments to them. They played well. We didn't execute. We didn't do what we were supposed to do, and we paid for it. So we just got to do a better job moving forward.
We don't get to see Bobby until he gets on the court. What is he like before games in the locker room with you guys?
I don't want to quote myself again, but no, I mean he's a fierce competitor. It takes a competitor to understand his tactics, his way of getting guys motivated, his way of going about his days. I mean, he's really intense. I mean, he rides the bike 15 miles and stuff on game day. So he does all kind of crazy things, but I mean, he's like I said, he gets us to play hard. He gets us to respect him and want to go the extra mile for him.
Last time you guys played Arizona, he busted out some sprints before the game. Has he done anything this week to try and create an edge? I know he's talked a lot about creating an edge.
I mean, at this point in the season, if you don't got an edge, I mean, we're in a lot deeper trouble than we expect. But like I said, all our guys we know what's at stake. We know what type of environment we're coming in. Last year, I was able to actually make that trip and see it from a fan's perspective. So I kind of know what to expect crowd-wise and just environment-wise. And I've been trying to preach that to my young guys. And, I mean, they've done a really good job. They've been really receptive to everything I've said and Bobby said. And like I said, I really like our chances going in this weekend.
Bobby's never beaten those guys down there, even as a player. Do you get the sense that this is a little more important to him?
I mean, it should be, for sure. Like I said, he takes every game serious. But, I mean, with all that's been said, just considering it's a rivalry, just considering the history of U of A, Arizona, it's going to be, U of A and Arizona State, it's going to be a really high-level game regardless of what else extra is added into it. So, like I said, knowing that, I mean, our guys, it's not a secret. We know that we haven't won out there. So that's something we want to do and add to a milestone in our career.
They pretty much have to win the tournament to get in, but they can also screw up your season. So that's got to be great motivation for them being the rivals. So you feel like you guys have to have that much more energy coming out there to, defeat that?
I mean, you always got to play exceptionally hard when you're on someone else's home court. I like to say you got to be at least 10 points better than the team going into their home court, because, I mean, you got to consider some of the calls they're going to get, that extra energy. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it's their senior night, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know how that goes. I mean, their older guys want to go out with a bang, and they don't want us to ruin what they've had going for X amount of years, beating us at their place. So, like I said, I know what's at stake. We know what's at stake, and we just got to come out and execute at a high level.
Do you guys feel like the NCAA tournament, the bubble situation maybe gets a little better if you win this game and you can relax a little bit into the next week, or does that factor at all? Yeah.
There's no more time to relax. I mean, we've dropped games that we feel like we shouldn't have dropped, and we put ourselves in this position at this time. So there's no more time for relaxation. I mean, we'll relax after the season, after it's all said and done, but there's no more margin for error. There's no more room for any of that type of stuff, and that's how we're approaching every day.
So you feel like you need to win it, definitely?
I feel like we need to win every game
make sure you
going forward. Yeah, I don't ever go into a game expecting to lose.